There are some of these attitudes displayed by immigrants or tourists that might be considered rude. Sometimes people that display this attitude are being seen as people with low IQ. Sorry to say this, but this is how some people perceive you when you behave strangely, In our society, there are no laid down rules as to how people should behave. Some of them are culturally inclined, the way we behave in our society, but they are not officially written. Likewise, in Britain, some of these things are not officially written, but there are certain way of life here that is acceptable to a whole lot of them. The way they do their things, the way they respond to issues and behave, And sometimes some of these odd behaviors displayed by immigrants, even locals here, they do not have bad intentions. Yes, but sometimes they could clash with the British social norm. And I'll be sharing 13 of them in this very content today. Welcome to my channel. My name is Chinyere Ojike. Please like my video, subscribe, leave your comment in the comment section, and I'll be pleased to read all of your comments. Okay, number one was something I recently witnessed at the place of my work. I finished working as an exam invigilator. It's either you are booked for morning invigilation or afternoon, or both, as the case may be. So as at 11 o'clock, the children have finished their exam, the paper they had on that day. They left the hall, and then three of us were exam invigilators, one British lady, myself, and another African brother. The exam officer asked the white lady, "What time are you on to?" She said she was booked until 11 o'clock, and she turned to me. I said half 11, and then to our dearest African brother, "What time are you on to?" I'm not sure. Maybe I should go get my phone and check, because I don't have my phone. Man, what was that? The way he even responded, sluggishly, and as if he was confused. Then the exam officer was like, "Okay, is it morning or afternoon, or are you staying for the afternoon?" He said, "No, it should be morning alone." He said, "Okay, if it is morning alone, you might as well go home with Chi and the other lady, because morning examination is over now." Guys, come on. If you are booked for a shift, before leaving your house, you should be able to know the time you are starting and when you are meant to finish. Do you want to work overtime? Nobody's going to pay you for overtime here. And besides, before leaving your house, you have checked your bus stop, time for the buses, if you are taking the buses or trains, how many trains. Oh my God, what platforms are you gonna be getting on the next bus or the next train? How many minutes are you expected to wait once you get off the first train? How long are you gonna wait for the second train to come? All these things should be pre-planned at home. Talk more of the time you are meant to finish your work. It should be here, just at your fingertips. Don't act dumb and stupid. To be honest, that was the way I looked at that gentleman. Because, oh my God, before one word came out of his mouth, like a little boy, and this is somebody's father. Yes, someone's father. Too sluggish. And he was wearing one suit and tie. For his actions that he said otherwise. Secondly, expecting everything to be like back home. Why is that problematic? Every time complaining that things are better back home, my life was better back home, this and that. It depends that you are ungrateful or, I don't know, arrogant. Yes, because if things were actually better back home, why did you even come? Rubbing it on everyone's face at work all the time. You're talking about, my life was better back home, I had a better life back home, I had a better job back home, this back home, I was living in a mansion back home. To these foreigners, they will be like, are you stupid? Are you daft for something like that? Because if you had that better life, better opportunities back home, why then did you move to their country? You just have to learn to embrace differences and how things work in the UK and live with it if you truly want to stay. This is not my country. Me, I've embraced it and they embraced it. When I go to Nigeria, I have freedom and vibe. You get all that respect. Everybody coming to worship you. They don't even know what you do to earn a living in abroad. Then number 3, bragging or showing off. Why is it rude? Modesty is something that is very much valued in this part of the world. So talking too much about your possession, your success, your weight and all of that is considered rude. Yes. Mellow down, my brother. We know that you were a doctor in your country. You once worked as an accountant, bank manager and all of that. So what happened? Remember that most people you are working with, especially most British people at your workplace, they did not even have degree education. They didn't go to the university. They just had their MVQs and they are your managers. They are there. They all get at the top. So why rub it on their faces that you were a manager, you were once this and that and that? They don't just fancy all of that. To be honest, they also looked at you as a stupid person. Why stooping too low, leaving your previous position to come down here and you are there? No, that doesn't say any good about you. They will go and gossip among themselves. Then is this one weary? Now you are under them. Yes, answerable to them at workplaces. Do not brag about your previous positions. To be honest, keep it to yourself. And then do not let that dominate a conversation. Maybe during break time, you keep talking about those positions, your successes and all of that. It's as if you are regretting or somebody has forced you to come down here. Number 4, skipping the queue. Queuing is a habit that is deeply ingrained in British custom. Skipping the queue or not queuing here, jumping into the queue, is something that is considered very much disrespectful and inconsiderate. Just look around, look for the end of the queue and go queue at the back. Yes, once you get to anywhere people are queuing, please try to respect that. I know that queuing is not something that is culturally inclined in our country. People queue, but at least if you know somebody knows somebody knows somebody, the person can go, get whatever business, especially at the immigration, all these offices in our country. No be first come, first serve. Now lie. Now first come would be last to go. Such a sad situation. But here, first come is actually the first to be saved. So learn that habit of queuing and activate it as part of your life. Okay, 5, speaking loudly in public. British people, they actually value understatement and speaking quietly in public places. They consider it rude when you sound so loud in public places because you will be disturbing others, or they might think that somebody is fighting. So learn to lower your voice. I know we are naturally loud when we express ourselves on the phone, conversing with person standing next to us, walking side by side with us. We are always very loud. Some of us even demonstrate with our fingers, with our hands and head as we talk, everything. Malue. That thing that I was saying, you can imagine the person was not even there with you. About the expressions. Somebody standing next to you will be scared for their life. Probably this one nut is gone. Number 5, overly personal questions. Asking personal questions early into a conversation. Questions such as your age, how many children have you got, are you married, are you in a relationship, how much do you get in? They consider that as you being intrusive. I don't know, but British people, they are really open, to be frank. This is quite strange because less immigrants among themselves, because this is something, my culture, Nigeria, we don't ask these questions. Yes, in a conversation. In fact, people don't tell you about their salaries. Before they start talking about relationship, you must have spoken with that person, or you must have seen that person 1 or 2 times. Yes, but here, within 2 minutes of meeting a British person, they've told you everything. I don't know why they say this is considered rude, and they said you can as well ask questions about weather, events, general events, and before you gradually ask about personal life. Now lie, British person tells you everything, the boyfriend, the girlfriend, the previous relationship, within 5 minutes of meeting a British person. They don't pick offense about this. But they say this is considered rude though, so watch out for it. Yeah. Anyway, you ask. Once they ask, or once they open up and tell you everything about themselves, you are expected to do the same in return. If they don't talk about it, don't talk about it. This is just the way I do. Yes, I ask questions based on the topic you started sharing with me. If you talk about your personal lives, one, If you talk about your personal relationship, I go on to ask more. But if you don't, my mouth to show them. Next, not saying please or thank you. You know, politeness is something that is a core value to the British culture. Failing to use basic manners is often judged harshly in this part of the world. Learn to incorporate. I know it is hard because in our country, you cannot buy something and say thank you to the person when you have paid your money to somebody. Why are you saying thank you? It's just like me. There was a time I traveled to Nigeria, jumping on the buses and keke. Once I'm coming off the keke or the bus, I would say thank you to the driver. My brother would be like, Shebi, you know, Pam, I've been afraid, carry. Why would you say thank you? Yeah, we do that a lot in this part of the world. Even as you're stepping out of the bus, you are saying thank you to the driver. Yeah, if you observe, you buy coffee, they serve you the coffee you paid with your money, you are saying thank you. They helped you do anything, thank you, please. You're asking questions. Even my boy, before he asks for anything, Mommy, can you make me a cup of tea, please? That please must be there. If you omit it, I will say, where's the please? As an African mom. And he will just say please, you know. So it is just the basic manners in this part of the world. Please and thank you. They have a song for it, for the nursery school children as well. Yes. Next, being too direct or blunt, you know, when trying to express yourself. You know, British communication actually involves some subtle expression or understatement. They are always indirect when trying to say something. They are not straight, to be honest. They are very subtle in their expressions. I remember one of the days when I was working in one care home, there was this lady. I usually play with her a lot, you know, a British lady. It was her birthday, though before that time she was saying she's been on this vegetarian, watching her weight, blah blah blah, you know, and she's very slim, but she said she was observing it. So on her birthday she brought cakes and all of that, and she was gonna eat meat. I said, what? So today you have sweet. I was so blunt. I said even the cake would make you put on more weight. See, she was so angry with me, but you know the way they are when they became angry, they don't show it. She said even on my birthday, so I should not even eat cake on my birthday. I knew that I really said something that I shouldn't have said, or I should have found a subtle way to express myself rather than being blunt, telling her about cake, you know, making her to add more weight, being that it was also on her birthday, you know. So they make these subtle expressions, understatement, they use sarcasm a lot, indirect expression and all of that. Next, ignoring personal space. The British people, they maintain a large personal space bubble. Yes, when speaking to them or standing on a queue, just try to maintain some space. Unfortunately, some of them, they don't seem to maintain this space, especially on a queue. Maybe in the shop you are about to pay, somebody will be standing and would almost want to fall into you with them loud breath. You'll be hearing it, and you'll be. Me, I always take it for that space or something like that. Sometimes I would even stand out of the line a little bit because the person behind me was standing too close. And they said they like their space. Are you sure? They like their space when it comes to them staying in their homes, minding their business. Your neighbor doesn't know you, you don't know your neighbor. You know, this is the kind of space I know that they like. And when on board, maybe on the buses and blah, 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 definitely myself, I wouldn't want to go and sit next to a person on the same row when there are other vacant spaces. So why not go and sit comfortably? You know, express yourself, get some fresh air. Everybody doesn't like that, even British people and immigrants. We don't like that as well. We like our space. Next, not making eye contact during greetings. Anyway, they consider it as not being polite, not being honest. But I think it is the same, especially when if you are being queried, if you are not making a focused eye contact, anybody questioning you, you know, might just conclude straight that you are lying, you are not telling the truth, you know. But then maintain just a brief eye contact when greeting somebody, when, you know, hello, hi, you okay? You know, that kind of their 1 second smile. Hi, hi. Next is PDA, public display of affection. They said it is being frowned upon in some rural areas or in some, you know, reserved areas. Did they really have some reserved places in this country? Because one of the cultural shock every one of us immigrants might have experienced here is the PDA, public display of affection everywhere. young teenagers kissing on the buses, trains, and all of that, making out, even outdoors, everywhere. It is good to hold hands, they said, but how could they consider it rude? It is their culture here. It is even we Africans that would consider it rude seeing fellow Africans, engaging in is a PDA, to be honest. We consider that rude, seeing fellow Africans doing that, because it is not our culture. It is usually not acceptable in African culture, especially my country. I don't know about other countries. Please, other country, if you are from a different African country, is PDA publicly acceptable? Next, talking about money or religion in public is considered rude. Why? Because it might make people uncomfortable. These are considered private topics for discussion. We don't talk about things as religion, especially in a society as the UK. There are a lot of controversies. Some people do not believe in God, some believe in trees, monkeys, and some also they don't even believe in anything, atheist, and some different religious backgrounds in this very country. So it's not something you engage on publicly. But thanks goodness there is a speaker's corner in London, somebody talking about Christianity, Islam, all of them arguing and all of that. I don't know how they see that on a microphone, being guided by the police and all of that. Yes, so just know it that you don't speak publicly about your religion. This is not Saudi Arabia, excuse me. So my last point, which is number 13 or thereabouts, littering or being disrespectful in public, they are considered rude, especially in parks, transport, high streets, public areas. They are unacceptable for you to litter places like this or be disrespectful to people around you out there. Just look out for bins out there, follow signage, and then respect shared environments, because out there it is not for you alone. When people are out, they're out to get some breathing space and all of that. You don't make it unwelcome for them to enjoy their time out. Alright guys, so this is it for this very content. Thank you once again for stopping by to watch. Please like my video, comment, share, and keep coming back for more. I appreciate your time. You are always the best. Bye.